Hey there guys, welcome to part 2. If you've stumbled on this video after browsing through kitten videos, somehow, please watch the first part, which is linked in the description. It'll help how you can do this all in the first place. Okay, you've seen some 720p footage at 60 frames per second. Now I'm going to play some 1080p footage at 30 frames per second. Same recording settings as before, same maxed out game settings. Just halved the captured frame rate. Just as a point of reference, the difference you're going to see if you play in this higher resolution will be going from this to this. Oh yeah. While console games can display at 1080p, they are actually rendered at 720p, or even lower in some cases, then scaled up to fit the screen. On PC games, you're rendering the textures, effects, models, everything at the resolution you choose, more demanding on the machine's graphics card, and as can be seen in this footage, can cause some issues for frame rates. Now, the difference in file size between the 720p footage shown in the previous video and the 1080p footage shown now is actually minimal. If anything, they're about the same size, roughly. 720p is about half the overall resolution of 1080p. Boring maths diversion, ahoy. Half of 720 is 360. 360 times 3 is 1080. Same for the horizontal resolutions. Now, if you think that 720p is double of 360p, then no. You have to take into consideration the other part of the resolution, 1280 and 640 respectively. This would make 720p actually 4 times the resolution of 360p. So, thanks to space wizardry, 720p is half of 1080p. However, we're doubling the frame rate. So, half the data, but doubled. Yeah, pretty much the same. So, the overall question would be, what is best? Well, it depends. Do you want to have that extra choice in resolution on YouTube at the cost of less frames, or settle for smaller gameplay space and lower resolution choices, but smoother motion? If it's the latter, then go for the settings I've detailed in the first video. If you want the former, then you can go for 1080 at 30 frames per second, but there is a compromise you can make if you're willing to. Are you ready? Lower the game settings. I know, it's sacrilege. But lower the settings in areas that aren't as noticeable in fast motion. Shadow details, effects, motion blur, object meshes, and anti-aliasing settings. Keep the textures high, that's what people see the most anyway. Then raise the frame rate you capture in Afterburner to about 50. The file size will be considerably bigger, but if you can spare the space, the reduction in eye candy in the game won't impact the frame rate of gameplay so much, and you'll be playing in full HD. I have an example of gameplay captured like this, with game and capture settings in the video. I'll link it in the description. Oh, and if you've looked at the settings in Afterburner already, and considered setting the frame size to 16:9 720p instead of full frame, while playing at 1080p, this is what you'll get. Obviously, the video's a little bit stretched. It's acceptable, but not ideal. There's unsharp text, blurred details, there's reddening, burning, scratching panes, unexpected discharge. Never mind. Basically, it is a viable option, but not as good quality as native full-frame capture. Keep in mind, you're capturing every single detail with full frame. When you're selecting something lower, then you're not capturing all the detail, or you're compressing it, even more than it's already compressing. Even setting the frame size to 16:9 1080p while playing at 1080p looks odd and jittery. So go ahead guys, download the program off of the MSI website, try recording some footage. Oh, and remember to stop the on-screen display from appearing in videos. You can do this by going into the Afterburner on-screen display tab in the settings and untick the little checkbox. Tell me what you think is best for great YouTube quality. See you all later, and comment with your thoughts.
Goodbye.
Thanks, Batman.